If you are new to our channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
We had several questions, and you can send questions in via phone here during the show. You can also email it at twvgshow@gmail.com. We had a number of questions come in this week. One is, when do you know that your garlic is cured? Let's talk about the curing process of garlic.
Sure.
Here.
So when we harvest garlic, you can use it right away, but for storage.
Which is called green garlic,
Green
right?
garlic,
okay.
yeah, but for storage purposes and just for storage purposes.
And keep it from molding.
Keep it from molding. You cure it. And you cure it simply by, you can hang it up, keep it upright, and it takes about 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes up to 6 weeks. You'll know it's ready because it'll get like real papery on the outside.
It'll look like the store-bought garlic. Then you trim the top portions off. We want to hang it vertically. Or set it vertically.
Set it vertically, hang it vertically. In an area that has good air circulation. Again, you're trying to prevent mold, so just think about that.
And you just don't want to lay down because gravity will pull some of those juices and flavors into the bulb as the garlic cures. Then you can trim the roots back and trim the stalk off, and you can store it in a...
But I would say I wouldn't try to rush this process.
No,
give it at least a month.
No, right.
And then take a look.
Well, how do we store garlic since we're talking about this?
So
we have proper...
You would cut off the top and the roots, and then you would just store it in a cool, dry place.
Preferably out of the opportunity sunlight,
mm-hmm.
In a back of a cabinet or in a box. You don't want to put this in a plastic sack.
No, like a basket.
Because then you'll have a bag of soggy, moldy garlic paper bags.
A paper bag basket, something like that, something that has some air.
Right, and you want to use it in about 9 months.
At most.
Yeah, our hardneck garlic, 8-9 months is about the lifespan. We've got some to last a little longer, but
and if you're going to plant more, mm-hmm. before you start to eat it, you want to take the largest bulbs so that you can use those to plant more.
Right. Another question we had was, when do I know when it's time to harvest my watermelon? That is one of the most frustrating things for many gardeners. They see the watermelon and they just go ahead and harvest it, and it's supposed to be a red watermelon, and inside it's white or pink because it's not ready yet. So what is the telltale signs that is a good indication that your watermelon is ready to be picked?
So your watermelon should have this curly off growth on the stalk.
3 to 4 inches away from the where it is connected to the actual melon.
Right, and it's called a tendril. Mm-hmm. And so once that turns brown, that means your watermelon is ready to harvest.
You may not have that anymore because it will dry up and fall off. If it's still green and curly, your watermelon's not ready. If it's drying up and falling off, or you can look it up online and find out what this image or what this tendril looks like, and then you can go that route. But that is a good indication that it's ready to harvest. To do that. Another question is, I have noticed very few bees in my garden. What's going on? Well, join the club. We've all noticed this. A lack of
definitely.
bees.
I don't know if there's an answer for that.
Grow a lot of flowers.
Yeah, grow a lot of flowers.
Vibrant colors, because they are attracted by vibrant colors. And then, provide a habitat. Find out what a bee's habitat is. And find out what you need to do in order to create that in your garden next year. And it's not, bees are an important aspect of pollination, but wasp, sweat bees, all kinds of insects help pollinate your crops in which are needed to pollinate. So, bees are the number one, but there's dozens of other smaller insects that will help pollinate these crops. So you want to look at insects that pollinate crops. Find out where you're at, what you might have, and what you need to do in order to get those in your garden for a better garden next year. All right, we've noticed in our garden, and we've been notified, and I've noticed in other people's gardens, that our tomatoes this year, at least here in the Milwaukee area, seem to be ripening slower than maybe what we're used to. Now, Luke from MI Gardener, seed sponsor of the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener radio show website and video productions, he did a video this week, and he pointed out, and it makes sense to me, the number one reason why your tomato plants are not ripening as quickly as you might think they should. And that's simply because the tomato are not getting enough sunlight. And this can be because there's a lot of foliage on the plant. So what you want to do is you want to go into the plant and you want to remove the foliage. Be careful not to cut growth tips that are producing more flowers, which will soon be more tomatoes, but expose some of the areas in which the tomatoes are clustered together. You don't want to remove no more than 25-30% top of the foliage. Again, we've talked about this on the program. We want to keep the bottom 6 to 8 inches, just soil up the stalk clean so that the soil doesn't splash up on the plant and have other disease problems such as early blight and other bacterial problems. So we want to do that. But that exposes the tomato to more sun and actually allows it to ripen quicker. We also want to keep the soil moist, allow the plant to have enough uptake, so we moisture in the soil, so we do not have blossom end rot. That's the blossom bottom of the tomato getting black and rotten. So that's one way to increase the speed in which your tomatoes ripen. Shari writes in and asks, when is the right time to harvest potatoes? Well, when the potatoes have flowered, you can harvest them at the time right after the flowers have developed and bloomed and start to die back. We choose to wait until the plant is dead or has died back 50%. You think it's a disease problem, but it's really not. It's the plant's life cycle. It produces the tubers, it has green growth, it flowers, and then the flowers die off and the plant decreases and dies, and then you harvest them. We want to harvest them. We don't want to leave them in the ground for a long, long time after the plant has completely died, because the potato can rot, and obviously critters and rodents can get in there and start eating those potatoes in which we are trying to get for ourselves. Most potatoes, based on your early, your mid, or your late, between 70 and 135 days. That's the range of potatoes when to harvest. You can harvest them smaller. Those are called baby potatoes, but other than that, you're good to go. Another good question there. When is a good time to plant radishes? Well, radishes take 30 days to reach maturity. I would wait until first or second week in September, and that will give you a harvest through about the middle portions of October, right when the temperatures begin to get cold. Thank you for checking out the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener radio show. For more, go to the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com for full-length in-studio video and podcast replay of Season 1. Season 2 underway and added weekly. Tweet us at TWVG Show or hashtag TWVG to be part of the program.